So today I'm going to do a book review video. I don't have that many books, I only have 4, just because this week was really hectic and stuff, and I really didn't read that much. So the first one I read was a 2-in-1 book, and I didn't know it was a 2-in-1 book until I opened it up and I seen that it was a 2-in-1 book. This is a Debbie Macomber book. I don't know if that's how you say her last name. I don't know. And it's called A Real Prince. This is what it looks like. Now, there's 2 stories in this book. One is called The Bachelor Prince, and the other one is called Yesterday's Heroes. I really liked the first story better than the second one. The first one was about a prince from this little nation, and he has to find a woman, and his secretary / best friend wants him to marry, and his parents want him to marry a rich woman. And from this charity auction that auctioned him off as a date, he ended up getting auctioned off or raffled off to a small town girl who wasn't rich. She was just a normal girl, and they ended up falling in love, and then they got married. I don't know. It was really, the first one was really good. I really enjoyed it. The second one was kind of dumb. It was about these, the girl was a biologist, and a marine biologist, and the man was a photographer, and they wanted to go on this expedition to go see some whales who people think that they don't even exist anymore, something like that. But in order for them to go, to be able to get a grant to go, they have to be married, because I guess if you're married, you get in faster, I guess, I don't know. So they get married, and she has to leave the love of her life behind. So what they were going to do is they were going to be married for that year, or for those 6 months that they were gone for, and then when they got back they were going to divorce. Well, it turns out after one night in this cold ship environment, she decides that she really does love this guy that she in the beginning thought was a jerk. And then when she gets back, she has to decide, does she want to stay with this guy that she thought was a jerk, or does she want to go back to the guy that she thought was going to be her true love and be married to him and stuff like that. But then one shocking thing happens, and it turns the whole situation upside down. So I hope you guys, I like the first one because I really thought it was going to be a book about this prince guy finding his love and stuff like that. I didn't think there was a 2-in-1 book. And it doesn't even say on the front that it's a 2-in-1 book. It just says A Real Prince. That's it. I thought it was going to be about a prince. But no, it was about that. So, this one, I got all these, I got the last one I'm going to show you, I got at Walmart, but these 3 that I'm going to show you, the first one, this one, and the next one, they all came from book sales and stuff. This is a Stephen King one, and this one I really didn't like. Like, I remember when this book first came out, I didn't want to read it because this was at a time when he was doing his, like, he wasn't doing, like, real horror stuff anymore. He was doing more, like, James Patterson stuff. Like, he was doing, like, mysteries and detective stuff, and I really didn't like that. So I really didn't think I was going to like this book, so I never got it. But then I got it at a book sale. And this is called Joyland, and it's from Stephen King. This is what it looks like. And what it's basically kind of about, it's about this guy who is reliving his time working at this amusement park, Joyland. And it's filled with all these weird characters and stuff like that. And he talks about, there's this psychic who tells him about his future. I think she was like a gypsy psychic or something, I don't know. and he's told of this murder that happened in this haunted house, and how you can only see her ghost like during like the graveyard shift of this amusement park. And he is trying to figure out, in the middle of the book, he's trying to figure out who was the killer of this woman. And he does figure out who it is, and it's kind of shocking who it is, to be honest. I mean, it's like, it's not that bad of a book, but it's just like, I really just don't like his like detective crime kind of novels. I just don't like it. I don't know. So this one is the 4th book in the Hudson series. This is the last book. There is another one that's supposed to be called Gathering Clouds, but when I looked it up, I was wondering why, when I wrote my list out of all the V.C. Andrews books, there was this one in this series. It was called Gathering Clouds. And usually the last books in our series, the 5th books, are always about like the prequel to the whole series. It's always about like the grandmother or the mother or the dad to the main girl character. So what ends up happening is I could never find this last book. And the only time I can find V.C. Andrews books is at book sales or flea market and stuff like that. So I always looked for this one book called Gathering Clouds, because it was supposed to be the prequel / the 5th book in the series, the Hudson series. And I needed it because this is the last 5-part series that I needed to read the whole thing. So that's why I decided that I was just going to read it, because I was like, if I can't find it, I mean, it's not like I'm missing like a 3rd or like the 2nd or 3rd or 4th book. I'm only missing the last one, and the last one's always a prequel. So here I find out I was going to go on Amazon and get it on a Kindle or just buy it. And here it turns out that for some reason, I don't know why, they made some kind of like DVD movie or something of the first novel, which is Rain. And inside of it, you know how like inside of like the DVDs or Blu-rays you have like a, well, back then it was DVDs when this one first came out. There's like a little paper excerpt of stuff that's coming out or something about how to play the DVD or whatever. Well, instead of inside of that, there was a novella of Gathering Clouds. So the Gathering Clouds was never made into an actual like book like this. It was more of like a paper format, and I'm not gonna buy a DVD or whatever that thing was just to get like a paper version of Gathering Clouds. And who knows if it would even be in the cassette, like, you never know, or the DVD, whatever it was. So this is the, like, I guess like the last book in this series technically, and this is V.C. Andrews. It's called End of the Rainbow. This is what it looks like. So basically what happens is this basically takes place after Rain escapes her, the wrath of her aunt's craziness. And what happens is she escapes and she marries the physical therapist that was her physical therapist while she was dealing with being in a wheelchair. And they she ended up pregnant, and then they got married. So this book is basically about her daughter's story. And her daughter's name is Summer. And her mother, Rain, her adopted, sibling, Roy, has a son. And his son, what happens is his mother dies because she went crazy over her daughter's death. And it was like the anniversary of daughter's death, so she drowns in a lake, his mother. And he decides that he's going to go and find his real father, and she's going to go with him. And what ends up happening is the person that they meet isn't even really his dad. His dad died in some kind of armed car chase. It's really his grandfather and this woman that's supposed to be like a witch or have like magical powers or whatever. and they get locked inside of the basement where they finally realize what happened to his grandmother and his father and stuff like that. And then the ending has a really nice surprise in it. It was a nice wrap up for the series. I really liked this series. If I had to pick, if it wasn't that Gallagher series, the one with the Foxworths and the petals and the flowers in the attic series, this one would be my second choice because this one was really, really good. I really liked it. And that one was like written in like the 2000s, like early 2000s. So this one I got this one at Walmart, and I like this woman's work. I like her work. She does mostly English royal family stuff, like the early ones, not like anything now. It's mostly like King Henry the 8th and King Henry the 7th and stuff like that. So this is by Philippa Gergory. It's called The White Princess, and it's supposed to be a star. Supposed to be a show on the Stars Network. I don't get that channel, so I wouldn't know. But this is what it looks like, and what it basically is about. It's about Henry Tudor. It's Henry the 7th, and it's basically like a historical fiction. It's always about the woman, the women, and not just him, because she's like a feminist writer. So she writes about Elizabeth of York, Henry the 7th, I think it's the 7th, wife, and her kind of like life, about how she was forced to get impregnated before she was even married to him, and her life just going through the motions of being the king to him, and going through all these wars and suffering, and her mom got sent to an abbey because she didn't want to marry the King of Scotland. She lost a child. She's dealing with all these different things, and I really liked it. It was a really good book, and I really enjoyed it. Now, one thing that was that this book is really long. It's like 500 some pages. And the chapters aren't like chapter 1, chapter 2. It's based on like, hers is always like this palace, winter 1758 or something like that. And I really like it like that because sometimes the chapters are longer, sometimes they're shorter. So if they're only like one season, it only lasts a little bit in one place. It's really good. I really liked it because it's better than just her being like, oh, this is chapter 1 and it's starting in this place. Well, then the next chapter starts in another place, so you don't know, like, because every time the scenery changes, and so does the seasons and the year, and it's really nice how it goes in chronological order, more than just being, oh, this is chapter 1 through whatever. I really like that about her books. And that was the one book that I really liked too, so 2 out of the 4 were really good. So I hope you guys subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.